There are a number of ways we can gain greater accuracy over our transformation tools in Rhino with guides and geometry snapping. For example, what if we wanted to move or copy in a direction aligned to our C-plane axes? We can do this easily by using the ortho tool. If you come to the bottom of our interface, you can toggle ortho on or off. Let's select one of our geometries and move it. You'll notice as we move now, the movement axis is snapped to the X and Y axes of the C-plane. This gives us scope for really accurate transformations of our geometries if we combine it with movement based on specific dimensions in millimeters. We can also toggle the ortho off and off as a shortcut using the Shift key. Holding down Shift will toggle ortho off and allow us to move freely, and letting go will snap back to those axes. So we can swap between these two to get greater control easily. If we right click on the ortho tool, we also have a series of extra options. Let's set the ortho angle to something different from 90 degrees. I'm going to go with 45 degrees. And you'll notice when I try and move this time, I'll get these 45-degree snaps with my ortho tool. I'm going to set the angle back to 90 because that's my preferred workflow. One of the most critical features in Rhino that allows for accurate 3D modeling is the O-snap tools, which is a series of tools that let us snap our cursor to specific parts of geometries. Let's demonstrate a few of these. Our O-snaps live down on our bottom left. Let's enable these by unchecking disable. I'm going to turn the end O-snap on, and I'm going to type move. And you'll see now as I hover over these kind of corner points of the box, my mouse actually snaps to these end snaps that specify these corners, which accurately lets me click into the specific points of that geometry. So I'm going to move from this end here, and I'm going to move to the other end of the geometry. We can also try the midpoint snap, and I'm going to move from this midpoint here to the opposing end corner. So we can use these snaps in tandem with each other. So you can see how this is a really powerful tool for accurate modeling. We could place a point on our canvas and turn the point snap on, and then move from our end point of our box to the point in space. We could also draw two lines that intersect and turn the intersect snap on. And then move from our endpoint to the intersection of those curves. I'm going to undo this and just slightly scale one of these curves so it's a bit longer. And then I'm going to turn on the perp snap and move this box so it aligns perpendicular to this curve we've created. We can also snap to circle geometry characteristics. I'm going to move this box and turn the center snap on, and I can snap to the center of a circle. I could also turn the quad snap on, and then move from this endpoint and snap to the quarters. Sorry, I'll just turn my perpendicular off. I can snap to the quad quarters of a circle. We could then turn our near snap on, and our near snap allows us to snap along the edge of a curve or a geometry. There's a collection of other snaps like knot and vertex that you can also look at that allow you more accurate modeling. And if we try and move our box and hold down the control button while hovering over the snaps, you see we have a whole selection of other hidden snaps that you can also use to extend those capabilities. Another tool that increases accuracy in conjunction with the O snaps that we can use is smart tracking. Smart tracking allows us to create temporary invisible alignment guides that we can use to align objects to one another. Let's turn it on at the bottom here. And let's just draw a line. And then I'm going to select our box, and I'm just going to move it to the origin. Now I'm going to move the box, and I'm going to hover over the end point of this line. And you see I can pull back and align the end of that line to the edge of my box to create a new kind of alignment without actually drawing any curves. I could also move and align to this end, so that white line that you see is our smart tracking guide coming into play. One last modeling tool I would like us to look at is Planar mode. Planar mode allows us to keep drawing along the same plane as the first point that we specified in our drawing. Let's look at this in practice. I'm going to draw a polyline, and I'm just going to draw a closed polyline from the endpoint of this box. It looks pretty good from this view, but when you rotate around, you'll see that most of the points have snapped to the C-plane at the bottom, and so we get this weird angle. So let's delete this polyline. And we'll try again, but this time we'll turn on the Planar tool. So let's create our polyline again, and we'll click around. And now you notice when we rotate into the other view, it's actually aligned to the same plane as the first point that we clicked on.